have twice as many suicides as homicides in Alabama. Someone dies every 12 hours in our state by suicide, and then every 40 seconds worldwide. It's the 10th leading cause of death in America, and it takes more lives than homicide, war, and natural disaster combined.
Ron Lamon, we're down here at Depot Park. He just came off the podium. Ron, you're the main organizer for the Cullman Suicide Prevention Walk. Where did this idea come from?
There's been a lot of suicide in our community recently, but back in November, my best friend lost his son to suicide, and about 2 years previous to that, I lost a really good friend of mine from high school to suicide, and I also, when I was a child, lost my uncle to suicide. So I've been affected by suicide quite a bit, especially here recently, and it seems like it's a growing problem, and it just needed to be addressed, and I didn't know what to do, so I had to do something, and this is the first thing that came to mind. So
you just decided you'd organize this event, and this is your first time organizing really anything of this nature, right?
Oh yes, sir. I've never organized anything bigger than a birthday party, and my wife usually does that, so I've never really organized anything, to be honest.
Well, you got over 100 people out here and had some excellent speakers.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Tell us about your church organization that supports you and that backs us a little bit.
Okay, I'm from Vinemont Baptist Church in Cullman, Alabama, or Vinemont, and it's basically just a few of us. I announced that I was trying to set this event up, and I had 3 or 4 people get together with me, and we discussed a name, and got a name, and then just started going from there, step by step. So we've got a Facebook page called Vinemont Baptist Lifeline. You can look us up on Facebook, and this is all a work in progress. I'm very, very low tech. You can ask Ashley here. I don't even do emails or any of that stuff. So the Facebook page is still getting worked on and everything. But yeah, our organization is just a small subset of our church, and we're just trying to fight this humongous problem of suicide in the community.
It is a huge problem. It goes beyond just completed suicide attempts. I mean, emergency responders, fire, ambulance, law enforcement, mental health, and they're responding to attempted suicides almost every day. So
right.
It's tough. Now, you brought in an expert from outside of Cullman County, right?
Yes, sir. This is Miss Ashley Foster.
I don't know if I'd call me an expert.
Ashley, tell us about your mission.
I'm the area director for the Alabama and Mississippi chapters. Our mission is to save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide.
Now, you gave some stunning statistics. Would you mind repeating those for me?
We have twice as many suicides as homicides in Alabama. Someone dies every 12 hours in our state by suicide, and then every 40 seconds worldwide. It's the 10th leading cause of death in America, and it takes more lives than homicide, war, and natural disaster combined. So it's a huge problem, as Ron mentioned.
It is a huge problem. So what is your role in these 2 states? What do you do exactly?
Well, we have 4 different kind of tenets that we support. We support advocacy and public policy, so mental health legislation. We're the largest private funder of suicide prevention research. We provide support for survivors of suicide loss and those who have attempted suicide, as well as those who just have mental health conditions. And then we have suicide prevention education programs that we implement throughout the state. So we're busy.
Well, now, if you don't mind getting a little bit personal, tell me your story. I know you had a little bit of an attempt on suicide once upon a time. It looks like you're much better now.
Yeah, well, I started suffering with OCD symptoms at the age of 6, and I like to give that example because it's really, at that age, it's not something that could be made up. And we do have the science now that if you see 2 brain scans of one depressed brain and a non-depressed brain, there's a huge difference in the serotonin level. So mental health, it truly is an illness, or mental illness is an illness, just like any other illness like cancer, like diabetes. It has to be treated, diagnosed. For me, I've been on medication for years, and I still go to therapy, just like someone who takes insulin for having diabetes. So it's treatable. It is, and there's always hope. But when someone gets to a suicidal point, they're probably not, accessing treatment at the time. They might not know that they have something more going on. The environmental conditions is what we usually focus on, like a lost job or a breakup, and it's always something more than that.
Well, it's something like that. And Tommy was on stage and gave a good rundown of what's possible in Cullman County. Do you guys have any specific instructions for people who might be facing suicide or have a loved one or a friend beyond what she said?
I would say just pay attention. Pay attention, put down your cell phone, and just be there for each other. Like I was saying earlier, in this age of technology and instant gratification, there's so much that is missed with human contact and just interaction with each other. You know, people say things on their cell phone or on the internet. They say things that they'd never say to your face because you don't have that human interaction. So my biggest thing would be just pay attention to each other and, you know, love each other. It's what God calls us to do. And if you're not a faithful person, if you're not a Christian, you don't have to believe in God to believe in just being nice to each other. There's so much hatred and anger in the world, so much just squabbling back and forth about politics, about sex, about everything. And we just need to stop and come together and learn to love each other again and just be kind to one another.
That's great advice. Ashley?
I would say, if since we do live in a cell phone world, to write down 1-800-273-TALK. That's the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Or, you know, these days we don't even use our cell phones to talk much, so you can text 741-741 for immediate access.
So you're telling me there's a suicide prevention text line?
Yes, 741-741. And that, I mean, this day and age, especially with kids, they're just texting, and you can have immediate response. You know, it's anonymous, and you can use it even if you're not feeling suicidal, but you feel like a friend might be, and you're like, I don't know what to do. What's the first step? Call or text that number, and they can help you get the resources that you need.
Well, guys, you're doing God's work out here today. I appreciate you talking to me. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.